Welcome to the Juice and Pop Show. I am currently joined by no other in chat. I mean, no other than the greatest pops on the universe, walking and gracing this motherfucker. I'm just being honest with you. Pops, Mister, look out for everybody but himself. What's going on with you, OG? We on the pod.
How you doing?
What's up, OG? How you doing today? How was work? Was work good?
It's all good, dude.
Yes, sir. I love to hear it. All right, Pops. Let's get straight into it. Let's not waste nobody time. Today, Pops, I already ran over the little list with you, but let's get to it. Austin Rivers decided to say that a 30 for 30 NBA players, 30 NFL players. I got 30 NBA for you that can go play football. You can't tell me 30 NFL players that can come play in the NBA. Now, respectfully, Pops, I'll take the reins on this real quick. All I'm going to say is this. One sport is physical. One sport is non-physical. One sport calls for a way different skill gap than the other one, and the other one calls for a way different skill gap. So take away the skill gaps. One is physical and one is non-physical. If my personal opinion, if you think 30 NBA players could come play in the NFL and not get they noodle smack loose and not want to retire after one game, you are crazy. I don't think you can name me 10 NBA players that want to get smacked for a 17-game season and make 10 times less money, Pops. I can't call it. You tell me.
You might find some tight ends, maybe, but I don't.
And,
a couple, maybe, but not. But I don't see it.
Pops, I couldn't agree with you no more. And since Pop said tight ends, chat, let me just rear off real quick and take a left on the same topic. Draymond Green now is one of the greatest small forward / power forwards of all time, and mainly a power forward of all time. He has some of the best accolades of all time. We watched him play at Michigan State University. It looked horrible, and I mean horrendous. I mean, Doggy Bone looked like he did not want to play football. It didn't make sense. And that's all respect to Draymond Green playing at Michigan State University. But that's one of, the top 100 players to top 50 players in the NBA currently right now that are just getting money and being statistically and logically capable to be able to play basketball at a really good pace. And you think that they can logically come to the NFL and take smacks that they've never taken, and they have injuries because of a hardwood floor. Respectfully, them are different injuries. Them are a lot lower body injuries. You are about to take a lot more upper body hits than you've ever taken your entire life, Pops. That's how I look at it.
Some of the most physical people in the NBA right now, so if they can't take it, who can?
Exactly, Pop. So you're going to get the most physicality right now that you're going to get because you are in the NBA. You are at the peak of basketball. But yet at the peak of basketball, you are still having, physicality injuries. And then you think that you can come play in the NFL is crazy to me, Pops. I don't think that there's 10 NBA players that could play a full season in the NFL and play another season following.
I don't.
That's just where I'm at with it, Pops. But then again, and I will, cater real quick on the back end for the NBA fans, LeBron James. I will tell you this. If LeBron played tight end, I'd have gave him about 4 or 5 seasons. I'd have given him 4 or 5. I'd have gave LeBron 4 or 5 seasons. He's like that. And he was like that in high school. I'll give him 4 to 5 seasons, but no more than 5. I'm sorry. 5, he's gone. 5, he's gone. Let's get straight into the next thing with Micah Parsons, Pops. I mean, Pops, this is one of the only videos that I'm going to pull up. And let me get to it real quick and let me pull it up in stream for you. I actually don't have it pulled up, actually. So let me type it in real quick. Micah Parsons, Sumo. And then, so what we're about to talk about right now, chat, and what Pops is about to watch is, which he's already watching, which I have already watched. Maybe you guys have not seen. A sumo wrestler, which is about, 250, 350. My bad. What you say, Dad?
Is this the first or the second match?
This is the first. I'm gonna do the first match, and then I'm gonna show the second match. So, like Pop said, there's 2 matches with a 300+ pound man, Micah Parsons. NBA players, just real quick, if y'all think y'all can come mess around with, with a defensive end or something, see what this look like. See what this look like. All right, Pops. So hold on. Let's talk about the first match real quick, Pops. So Michael Parsons did get shoulder thrown by the big Sumo guy, and then everybody gave him heck in the comments, Pops, about the first one. What you think?
He, he was just getting leverage. He got tossed, but he was getting leverage.
And as a big boy, you've never sumo wrestled a day of your life. People are acting like Michael Parsons is supposed to go in there and dominate just because of his name. Like,
Plus, he was trying to push him back like a defender towards the quarterback, and he actually got hip tossed. That's what actually happened.
Pops couldn't have said it no better. He took an NFL approach, and it sold him on the back end. And we're about to play the second clip for you guys. And on the second clip, it's not the same result. So let's get straight to it, Pops. CJ Stroud going in there with the little bro. And Pops, they did have that rivalry that we talked about. Running back. Somebody get legs every day. Did y'all hear the impact? Look at the hand grab. Pops, that's a big boy. Mike is about 215, 230 maybe. Talk to me, Pops. That's a big boy. Like, I can 1,000,000% see like if he done this for the NFL draft, Dad, he probably didn't even have to go to the combine. Pop said he don't know about all that. All right, OG. Let's go ahead and keep running down the list real quick, Pops. Let's not take too much time of yours. Sorry for that.
He actually didn't even need to go to combat after he played his senior year.
Nah, for real. I promise you. Pops, nail on the head.
One of a kind.
Do you think, okay, now let me ask you this real quick for the viewers and for the fans out there, Pops. Do you think Micah Parsons is like a generational talent? Because I do believe like he is crazy.
Can I tell you this one thing I don't really truly understand completely yet? Is that he come in as a middle linebacker and how he's I know he's a great pass rusher and all that, but man, there's something about if he played middle, he'd be the next Ray Lewis. I truly believe.
So you think he's at the wrong position too, Pops?
I firmly believe.
You think he's too freak of an athlete and he reads the ball way too well for him to be on an end of a line respectfully. You give him maximum 3 seconds every time to make a play.
I don't know. It should be.
Pops, all I'm saying is that you right, Pops. Like you give a freak athlete 3 seconds maximum almost every time to make a play, and they don't even have 3 seconds to make a play. You put him at middle linebacker, Pops, like you're talking about, like when he was at Penn State. And then guess what, Dad? You got that dog in the middle that's going to run around for you 24/7 because he loves the game. And he loves the team that he's playing for. That's the only team that he wants to play for. That's phenomenal, Pops. I couldn't agree with you no more. Get straight to it, man. Tom Brady got his ass roasted. Pops, Tom Brady got his ass roasted. And I mean, Dad, the lineup was good from start to finish. But I want to hear your opinion on it. Because I know you watched it differently from the time that I did, besides a couple little bit. Sorry for that, but talk to me.
Well, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
How do I put this? It was good to the point until all the vulgarity. I loved it, but it got to the vulgarity, and that's the thing that just blew my mind out. But it was funny to everybody else, and I understand why, but that's between you and I. So, I know you don't want to hear that, but that's what I really thought.
So basically, what Pops is like trying to break down to y'all is, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it real quick. I'm tired of all the weak ass jokes. Like, make a joke a real joke. Like, we get really good quality on jokes, And it's about Tom Brady, and it's phenomenal. And you go ahead, throw a couple gay jokes in there. That's cool. But I ain't going to lie to you. It's a 3-hour performance. And if an hour is based off of him being gay or spinning it some which way about that, like you're catering way too much towards Netflix at that point. Like, I get Netflix is giving you that platform, and I get that. And maybe you're trying to go with jokes that are hit because, like, that makes sense for right now. But, like, at the end of the day, a lot of jokes were, like, funny, but it was around the same base thing that is just like, like, can we go somewhere else with the joke? Can we have some other fun? Can you talk about, like, something that's realistic, like how he sold in moments in football, or, you know, keep talking about the Giselle situation because that's what he hates and that's what people are really there for. And not, like, just keep spinning that he's, like, gay repeatedly. Like, even Dana White threw a joke in there to where it was just like, I didn't even expect Dana White to throw one in like that. You know what I mean, Pops? It's just like we went way left. It's like we started off full speed like a rocket, and then out of nowhere we went from outer space to back on the street and just taking a bunch of lefts over and over again. And it was the same type of joke, Dad. That was just like, come on. Like, can we go somewhere else with it? But it's funny though. So, like you said, Dad, I understand where everybody, like, gets like the viral moments from, but it's also like, can we take it somewhere else now? Like, come on, it's 2024. So let's go ahead and. Oh, and real quick, Pops. Let me ask you this then. Let's not bash it to where that people hate on us. Let's say this much. Who did you have as a favorite performance? From the roast itself. I'll go. Oh, you got one? Go ahead. You'll give it to Belichick. I'm not gonna lie to you, Pops. Belichick, listen. Belichick held it down.
And he took it on the chin like a champ. And like
all the jokes.
Everybody talk about the gay bullshit, all that stuff, and he even took that shit. It just amazes me. I never knew he had such a sense of humor at times.
It's crazy. You're right.
And when what was his name? I was talking about how when they weren't doing no better in the high school team.
I forget who said that, but
fucking tell you that, motherfucker. That's what I'm talking about, the vulgarity, all the cussings up in Ireland and.
Yeah. And Pops is more or less so talking when he says vulgarity. He's just speaking upon, cussing and, saying, gosh dang, way too much and stuff like that. Like, Pops just, he just isn't for it. So, I'll say this, Pops. I'll say either, I liked Bill. I also liked the girl, Nikki. She had a couple little weird jokes in there, but she had like a good performance though.
Yeah. And he taught him the way her humor is what it is, but it was funny shit. Oh, sorry.
Dad, the fact that she said that, hey, my husband of 10 years is in the audience right now, but I will punch you in the face. I will punch you in the face to get a chance to eat him up. Like, what? I'm crying, Pops. They had me rolling. I'm not gonna lie to you. That and Bill Belichick for sure. I can agree with you. Houston, stand up. Texas, or my bad, Texans. Well, Texas too. Talk to me. Pops is in the building. We're chilling, and then next thing you know, we got a little bit of news going across our board. J.J. Watt. He says, if the Houstons call my phone, I'm ready to pick up at any point in time. And, I'll come back and play some football. Kind of how everybody wants Andrew Luck to come back and play some football. Pops, what you think? Houston got a good lineup. They got a quarterback finally. Good offense. It's solid. Defense is getting there. Defense is all around, being able to make tackles. Not like Atlanta missing a bunch. What you think?
I thought I kept up with all the news of what's going on today, but when you told me that, I hadn't heard that yet.
Oh, you actually didn't hear that at all.
That's one thing
Nice. So how do you feel about that though? I mean, I feel like the last year that we got from him from the Cardinals and whatnot, I feel like he was still very productive, and I still feel like he was still forcing a double team. So I feel like he could still maybe still play. I don't know though. It's been what, 2 years?
I think he could, but I thought if he come back, he would play for two different places,
Okay.
either Houston or Pittsburgh. Because but I thought it'd be Pittsburgh
With
because
his brother.
that's the reason why I thought he'd come back. I didn't think it'd be for Houston.
That it pops. Now that you bring that up, it is kind of wild that he will come back for Houston, but not for his brother. But then again, pops, what if he wants to, get a little bit higher up on that stat board so his brother can't catch him as quick,
I
because he's
think he
catching
said.
him quick.
I think he said something last year about. So he said he would come back and we would come back for on Pittsburgh team. I think he said or something like that.
Mm. So
But he
maybe
could have
he's
been playing on the network. But who
so maybe
knows?
he still wants to play, and maybe he's just not, able to play. I guess then, based upon like workouts and shit. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
You remember his last year? He had that one thing. He had a problem with his heart.
Mm.
He had the problem with the torn bicep twice.
Yeah, and it was just better off just to let it relax. And now maybe his heart's good money to where it's like, you know what, I've had some time off. My heart's relaxed.
Also, you thought about that. It's about you're talking about just a constant grind to being at that age and stuff. Another year, that's not better for him. It's actually worse, in my opinion. That's a year older.
So you think
And
he might as well just keep him hanged up then, OG?
only way I would play if I was him, it'd be on limited time. I know that.
So then would you do kind of like what Tom Brady's saying to where it's like, and then we'll get into that too. We're gonna speak about Tom Brady right after this, I guess. But how Brady said, he'll come back if it's a playoff team. Do you think maybe a playoff run JJ Watt comes back, or
But still be limited reps because he's still. I can't see him being in top shape. And the speed of the game and shit like that, to be in spin
and
if
it's a
he
young man's game, Dad. You were right. It is a young man's game.
and they can cost you games, and I don't. People ain't playing people just because of their name and what they was in the past. That's
That's
called desperation.
that's very fair, pops. That's very fair. Let me go ahead and throw this other light on for them real quick. Just go ahead, pops. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
People say if anything, and putting younger players in to give them experience for the future.
Yep. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Exactly. And then maybe they just bring him in kind of as like that, like the totem pool to where like he comes in on the veteran minimum dang near, and then it's just like, hey, we'll give you third down reps maybe, or like fourth down reps and stuff like that, but let's try to like teach the young bucks all the ropes that like you learned over all the years.
Start about physical.
So you're worried about the physical then, pops. You're worried about can he actually play.
Yeah, let's say the perimeter of the physical period.
That's fair. That's very fair. I mean, it's been what, 2 years? Can he actually play defensive end? Shit, y'all let me and pops know. All right, pops. Let's go ahead and jump in. Dang, can my camera focus? Okay. Next segment. Yo, Minnesota Vikings. Yo, Minnesota Vikings. OG. Kirk Cousins, is leaked information that Kirk left Minnesota simply not just because of the money. He probably would have took a little bit less to stay with y'all, but he left because he did not want to have a rookie quarterback there, because Minnesota said that they are going to draft a rookie quarterback. So he signs a big boy deal to go to Atlanta. And then Atlanta does what Minnesota does. Drafts a quarterback.
You know what? I thought about that after you told me that, and I found out from you is that for what he got paid, that's guaranteed money he's going to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, for the next 3 years, his future is there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if something was to happen, still, it's guaranteed he's fine. He's set up. You know what I'm saying? he's set for his future and what his plan days are, and if he wanted to ride out that contract. But if not, Atlanta's in a position now to put themselves and I can understand why it's a business.
Yep.
And
1,000,000%. They got to make sure. I mean, Achilles is a huge injury. That is major, major. Achilles is not like. Sorry, go ahead.
not a quarterback. It's not as severe.
Not as okay. So do you think Aaron Rodgers like Achilles bounce back would be a lot easier than what it would be for a different position then? Like yeah. You're right. I mean, shit. Even an offensive lineman. I mean, fuck, that would be horrible for an Achilles.
Any other position, it's easier.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, quarterback is literally the easiest position for an Achilles. Yeah, that
We need to be harder.
that's very fair. I mean, I'm thinking about it now, Dad. Any other position is with an Achilles.
Just saying.
Yeah, pops. We're just saying. Well, pops. Well. Miami, they have a trio: Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and now the Odell Beckham Jr. After injuries, pops, and after everything going on, I'm just gonna say this: he had a phenomenal season at the Rams. Back end, at the Super Bowl and whatnot, couple of bumps in the road. Before that, bumps in the road. But before that was a solid wide receiver. Not to where everybody, captivated him to be and, with all the hype. But he was still a very good, solid receiver. That was one of the top in the game, for sure. And now we add him to the Miami Dolphins after a couple of injuries, pops. And that's the team that he decided to go to. He's more than likely going to be the 3, in my opinion, because there's no way you're putting him above Tyreek and no way above a young Jalen. So what do you think? He's going to get man on man. 50 balls, 1,000 yards?
Cycles. Now make fun of me again about getting to it. I think I just sets Tua up. That offense is a quick release quarterback, and the way he runs route, he'll fit in so nice.
Just because of the weapons that are there and just because of Mike McDaniels is not going to, give him options to fail. So you think for fantasy owners, Tua is definitely a grab? Yep.
It's not as, how do I put it, chance of it happening so severely, so quick. I thought it could. I still wanted to take a chance on him, but I knew last year anything could happen because it was bad. But he took some decent hits, but he's shown that he released the ball quick enough that they're not against all the hits on him.
That pops. Darius and I was at the crib live when it happened. We were on Discord all together. That was actually one of the very first videos that we put on the podcast 2 years ago. Prayers out, to Tua then, and still prayers out to Tua now, because that was a very crazy concussion. That was like a bang 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 type of situation. That was like, hold on, should you play football again type of concussion. And the fact that he can bounce back, and then people can talk shit all that they want, but guess what? You've never had that happen to you, so don't judge a man that's had that happen to him and then still step in the ring of fire and have grown-ass men run at him ready to throw his body in half. People just don't understand that. And, for you to sit here, Pops, and, give him his flowers a little bit, that's nice, that's real nice of you to do, because a lot of people ain't giving Tua no flowers, and a lot of people are kind of saying, what's going on with the Miami situation, and if Miami can't get it right, then, maybe it's a Tua situation. So, if you to give him some flowers, Pops, that's nice. For real, because I don't think a lot of people are doing that for Tua right now. I think a lot of people on Tua ass, saying, okay, cool, you got a good head coach, you got everything around you, make something happen. So it's kind of a lot of pressure on Tua, but, that's nice. That's a good touch right there. I like that. Time. T.O. Pops. T.O. Terrell Owens says, hey, 49ers, if you give me a call, I'm going to come play ball. If you give me a call, I'm going to come play ball at 50 with his son.
T.O. would play with anybody for the last 5 years. He's been trying to get on anybody's team. That's not new. And once he's on the 49ers team, he was going to beg for them to pick him up and play for nothing. To play with his son.
I promise you, Pops.
I can see it.
It's like now, okay, what's the next thing on how you want to get back to the league? So now I want to get back to the league. Fuck it, my son there. I want to go play with my son. So like it just makes sense. And you're right. Last 5 years he's been like, yo, I can still play ball. He's been running 40s. He's been working out with other wide receivers. I feel like T.O.'s probably gotten a couple private workouts from teams. And I feel like maybe they kind of seen like, okay, cool. I just don't think he can take the smacks. And he's going to just be like a situational wide receiver. And then when he's that, then you just know to make sure that he's covered in those situations. So then it's like, why do you have him? Sorry, can't hear you. Sorry, can't hear you right now. I still can't hear you. It's real messed up. You're good though. Don't change nothing. Just talk. You're good.
Like I said, I don't know what it is.
No, it's back to good. It's back to good.
I forget what I was going to say.
I fucked you. I'm sorry. I just couldn't hear you.
Okay.
I was talking about Terrell. We was talking about how Terrell Owens is coming back to play football, and we was talking about how he wanted to play with his for the 49ers with his son. And then I said, yeah, you're right. Terrell Owens has wanted to come back for the last 5 years, and then now he wants to play with his son, and it's all just trying to make sense now because it's like, okay, cool. What's next? Now let me go play with my son. Don't remember. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry. I sold you. My bad. My bad, Dad. We'll get to the next one. I'm sorry. My bad. My bad, Pops. I didn't mean to mess you up. So, the Tennessee Titans. I mean, Pops. They have been stacked since about, 2 months ago? Or they started getting there. I mean, shit, they picked up Calvin Ridley, Pops. Now they just picked up Tyler Boyd on a signing. They also have DeAndre Hopkins. They picked up Will Levis in the draft. They let go of Derrick Henry, but they picked up Tony Pollard from Dallas. They also have T. Pierce backing up as a rookie from last year. Offense is looking okay. Offensive line's not looking too shaky. How do you feel about it, Pops? Tyler Boyd is no longer in orange and white and black.
I'm trying to see this offense for Tennessee play.
Facts. Do you think Will Levis could be a quarterback that, like, just because of the situation and the pieces, if, like, the coaching system is done just right or, like, close enough to right, do you think he could be in that 3,500 to 4,000 passing range with the wide receiver options, even though we know Tennessee probably wants to run, but I heard they're going to an air raid offense, so I'm not sure.
I think he's going to be a 250 to 300 yard quarterback each week. High side 350 to 400, and I think he'll be throwing the ball a lot. But a lot also to the back also because I think that's why they grab Pollard. Plus they have the what's the name there too. So
Pierce, yeah, so they can run down the middle still, and Pollard gives them that run down the middle plus receiving back option that you're saying, Pops. So he's also going to have maybe 300 to 500 yards receiving out of the backfield, just probably out of Pollard alone.
Oh yeah, that's what I figured.
And then you got to think the backup may get maybe 100 just because.
He might even have more. He might have closer to 600 to 800. That's out of the backfield.
That's how talented Pollard is too, and especially if Will Levis and they try to utilize a check down.
And what it seems like, I think he's going to get maybe 50 to 65, 70 balls out of the backfield. I really firmly believe that for some reason.
Facts.
He's going to be one of them backs that's getting. He might start out from 3 to 5. Targets at the beginning of the season, but he could end up being anywhere from 5 to 7 to 8 by the end
per
of the
game.
season.
Yep.
just because of what they're doing with that offense. Like I said, yet nobody's seen what's about to happen yet.
100%. You like no one knows what the offense is looking like, especially without Derrick Henry. So no one can sit here and act like we have any clue what Tennessee's about to do. We all got an opinion of what we think, but shit, Tennessee can surprise us all. But we think they gonna pass that mug.
I know one thing: Dallas does not play Pollard at all throughout the season like they should. They try to every time they got ahead, they tried to keep him for fresh legs. So he didn't have the year that he could have had by far.
Mm-hmm.
His numbers could have really been on the high side. So that's why I'm waiting to see him in Tennessee. He's going to get his chance there.
I feel like he could have had Zeke numbers when Zeke came out of Ohio State if they would have utilized him the same way that they utilized Zeke as a power running back, and noticed like he's really good on screens, and they overused him on screens to help him with the receiving side and then be able to go down the middle with a good offensive line. You still had a good offensive line, and then you get the actual receiving back that's a little bit better than Zeke, and they don't give him the same, receiving options. That's just like, let's bait into it. It's kind of like, hey, Pollard's going to be running out like every play unless he's getting the ball. Couldn't agree with you no more, Pops. Bengals fans, I need y'all to talk to me real quick. Listen. We're going to talk about TJ, who's your mama. You feel me? AKA TJ. And then we're going to talk about Ocho Cinco a little bit. But Pops got to see this a lot more than me. Even though I'm a huge football fan, Pops got to see it a little bit more firsthand, being a real football fan. So, Pops, I'm going to read you off some numbers, and I know I brought this up to you. But not a lot of people give TJ Houshmandzadeh credit for being a good duo with Ocho. A lot of people also consider him as a tight end too, not even a wide receiver sometimes, which is kind of wild to me. But yeah, right? You know what I mean? Like a lot of posts call him a tight end sometimes, which is kind of crazy. What'd you say? Sorry.
Slot receiver.
You know what I mean? And they call it it's just kind of wild to me. But anyways, let's go ahead and break down. Go ahead. Sorry.
He's like a Wes Welker.
And I wasn't even gonna take it there, Pops, but I'm glad that you did. Now, how do you get that mixed up with a tight end sometimes? I don't understand. I really don't understand. But let me break down some of these stats for you, Pops. One of the coolest things ever. They were both drafted in 2001. They were both college teammates at Oregon State. They both were multi Pro Bowlers together. They also combined for 18,000 plus yards and 111 touchdowns. And they also combined for 18 seasons together in Cincinnati in general. The only duo to ever do shit like that, Pops. So you got to see, and we don't even got to talk about their accolades and what they did and whatnot. Like, you can talk about whatever you like here, Pops. But like, you got to see, Ocho work a lot more to me. I got to see the release. I got to see like the fancy talk to where it's like you really can't guard me. I got to see the locker room checklist and whatnot. But like, I didn't pay attention to the game as much as you. So I didn't pay attention to as much as TJ, just because like I'm more focused on like what's going viral and whatnot back then. But I was still watching football, so I didn't get to see as much of what you got to see probably out of TJ. So what do you think of just like the duo just in general, Pops, and like what they stood for back then? Because that was back with Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and you had a couple other receivers in other places. But what you think, Pops?
They were good, don't get me wrong, but the main thing is you have to look at one thing. Who was the quarterback?
Carson Palmer.
That's the reason why.
So you think Carson Palmer was the only reason why they got busy like that?
The only reason why. Some of the great receivers have to have that great quarterback to put the ball where they need to. They have to know the receivers. That's why they're duos. You can't do it by yourself. And I don't see where everybody, they can do this, there, or there. There's only a few receivers that can do it wherever they're at.
Okay.
And they're few and far between. Unless you're Randy Moss.
That is very fair. And then you're gonna and then if we look at it, like Chad Johnson didn't play well with any other team just because of the fact that it's just like, other stuff going. So like Pop, and like if you probably go down, like if we were to go down a list of like NFL wide receivers that were like that, Pops, you're probably 100% right and hit the nail on the head. Like, you're right.
Hey, and it's like this. Jury's still out to see what happens. It should have a great year. You would think in every single way. One is still out for this year. It just happened. You just talked about it. Beckham.
Okay.
So anything could happen this year. It could be his greatest year, or it could be his downsized year. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Who knows? Like I said, he does good in injuries. So things happen. Like I said, who knows?
Yeah, it's either an injury bug or it's can you play with a different organization or play in a different style of offense? Can you like and this is another thing, Pops, and let me hit the nail on the head with you real quick. Can you work with 150 targets? Not a lot of receivers can work with 150 targets. That's a lot of balls coming your way. That's a lot of demand for you to get open. That's a lot. That's a lot of targets. And like you can think maybe, hey, yeah, this receiver can get those targets. Yeah, cool. But what is that receiver going to do if those targets, like on a different team? Can they get 150 targets on this team and then on a different team and be able to understand that offense, understand that system, and be able to play with any quarterback?
Beckham ain't gonna have no 150 targets. He might have if he's lucky.
Oh no. My bad. I was talking about like Ocho going to a different team or like TJ Husmanzada.
But even then, they wouldn't.
So what do you think Odell's gonna get, Pops? Do you think I'm thinking maybe Odell could have like 55 to like 68 catches for 800 to 1,000?
I'm thinking 50 to 70 catches. You know, and then also I'm thinking yardage wise, you could have 800 to 1,000. It all depends because the main thing is it's still gonna be Tyreek and Ronald.
Mm.
He'll have some, but he won't have a lot.
That's true. Well,
But they're not going to be throwing the ball no 70 times a game.
no. I mean, 50's high.
And after they signed Monster back, even though I mean he's a receiving back, but he's mostly runner.
2-year deal.
A is going to be rusher, but
And
he's
A-Chain's coming off of that injury too, Pop. So he's probably biting at the bit to get back. He's probably biting at the bit to see the field. Like, okay, let me calm myself, but let me go ahead and get as many yards as I can.
But that's the whole thing. He's on the go. Don't let him touch ball like 10 or 15 times a game because he's that explosive.
It's too risky.
80 yards to the house.
Because it's like certain like this is what Pops are saying too, to like let you guys understand. Why do you think Big Red is such a good coach over there at Kansas City? Because he understands the input that a player is supposed to have. Some players aren't supposed to have 25 touches or even 15 touches a game, and that's respectable, especially at the running back position, because that's a lot of bang bang. Whether you're blocking, running, or catching, you're more than likely going to get a bang bang. Not even just one pad. You're going to get two pads from two different players. So it's like you take all that bang bang and then you have a smaller player, and a lot of people overuse them, and that's what, and like you get players to get injured. So it's kind of like what Pops is saying is, let's take Devon A-Chain, let's understand he's on that 10 to 15 carry regiment maximum, and or like play count with receptions and rushing options like as a total. So it's like, let's understand that, because last year that was the question: could he go past that? And Pops, they tried to go past that, and then look what happened. So I think you're 1,000,000% right. Let's pull back a little bit, and then let's tell him, hey, maximize every rep that you get, and basically probably every rep that he's in is more than likely going to be designed for him, or just like a misdirect. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. But I think you hit the nail on the head with him.
That's for sure.
Because if you give him too many carries, that's tough. But Pops, I really don't got much else. I mean, do you want to say anything else? You got anything else you want to talk about randomly? Anything? Are you good?
Good.
All right, Pops. Well, hey, listen, Pops, I appreciate you for tapping in for another show of the Juice and Pop Show. Thank you, OG. I hate long ass outros, so I'm gone, or we gone.
Peace.
Subscribe to the Juice and Pop Show.